Welcome to Something Extra, a show that was created for you to learn more about people with Down syndrome in your community. I am your host, Maria Severson. On today's show, you will meet DeSanio's new volunteer coordinator and a couple of our dads who will be talking about the new initiative for all fathers who have children with developmental disabilities throughout the state of Ohio.
How much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, you or a friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at votevotevote.com.
Welcome to Something Extra. I am here today with my colleague, Mandy Spizak. So Mandy, tell us about your role at DeSanio.
I'm the volunteer coordinator and office manager. And so I'm just in charge of working with volunteers and kind of explaining the opportunities that we have at DeSanio for different programs and events and different fundraising events.
How did you first hear about DeSanio?
I was very aware of Artful 21, which is our store, and it wasn't until I saw the job opening that I realized that there were so many other programs and services that they offer.
And what are some of the things that you've already been working on? I know you've only been with us for a couple of months, but you've been really busy.
Yes, my focus recently has been reaching out to local high schools and letting them know about us and seeing if we could be on their register of nonprofit organizations so that students who are required to fulfill service hours for graduation can do volunteer work with us.
And what are the areas that we need volunteers for?
Well, right now we're in the planning for the 2024 Northeast Ohio Buddy Walk, which is our biggest fundraising event. And it takes a lot of volunteers to make that event go. That is August 17th. And yeah, right now we're recruiting volunteers for all sorts of different jobs to make that event a success. And then year-round we have different kids classes, cooking classes, social events that we're always looking for volunteers for.
So besides students needing volunteer hours, where you mentioned that we also look to businesses or corporations, if they have some type of giving back program, how can they help us?
Well, thank you for asking that. We have relationships with KeyBank and Walmart. They have their employees contact us throughout the year to help us. And if your employer offers that type of program, just give us a call at the DeSanio office or contact me, and we'll put you in touch with different tasks that we could use help with.
Like, give us an example, like what has Walmart or KeyBank done?
So we have the Sunburst Snacks program, and that is snack boxes that we sell at different locations. And our individuals with Down syndrome will learn how to do these jobs, and they go out and learn work skills. And the Sunburst Snacks is just a great fundraising element for us. And in fact, we have employees at the office today helping us assemble those snacks.
From KeyBank.
From
right?
KeyBank.
And so they help us assemble the snacks, and that's part of their program, giving back to our organization.
Absolutely. And they can also participate in our different fundraising events as well.
So what are the benefits for volunteering for DeSanio?
Well, once you learn about what a positive impact our organization has on individuals with Down syndrome and their families, it is just empowering and very fulfilling to be part of that effort.
And why are volunteers so important for us?
Well, we're a small organization, and we need the extra help to keep these programs running. And the more help that we have, the more people we can help.
So who can volunteer?
I would say teens and adults who are looking to help us out. And if you contact us, we can put you in the right direction of what you feel comfortable doing. If you go on our website, you can fill out a volunteer interest form, and you can check boxes as to what program you have interest in. If you really want to work with kids, we have the kids classes. Or if you're really interested in social events, you can sign on for that sort of thing.
And tell us about the Changing Up program that we're trying to kick off.
Yes, we're going to try to get that going, especially for this fall. October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and it is a program where we can work with schools or workplaces where people can donate $1 to either dress up or dress down. Maybe even, since it's October, wear a Halloween costume, which I think would be really fun. And it would be a really fun way to raise awareness of the cause and help raise money.
So I know you've already mentioned it, but tell us again where someone can contact you if they're interested in volunteering.
You can contact me directly, mandy@desanyo.org, or you can just give the office a call and we'll talk to you and get you in the right direction.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing that information.
Thanks, Maria.
We will be right back with the Pathways for Pops. Welcome back. I am here with a few dads from our community, and they've brought their adorable children with them. And who do we have here?
This is McKenna.
Hi, McKenna. How old is she?
She just turned 2 in May.
And you are?
I am Brandon Spar. I'm a stay-at-home dad with McKenna.
And who is this?
Tell her your name.
What's your name?
My name is Archie.
And how old are you, Archie?
8 years old. My name is Matt Chernitsky. I'm the program director for Pathways for Pops. I'm also a stay-at-home dad to Archie and my 6-year-old daughter, Ginger.
Aww. And tell us what it was like when you first received the Down syndrome diagnosis.
To me, it was a shock. We did not learn of Archie's diagnosis until he was 5 months old. We actually, at 5 months old, we had his normal pediatric checkup, and the pediatrician thought she had heard a heart murmur. So she had suggested that we make an appointment with the cardiologist, which we did. And as soon as we got into the cardiologist's office, the first thing he did is he took his shirt off, he took Archie's socks off, started checking his toes, his hands, his palms, behind the back of his neck. So they did the echocardiogram, and as the appointment was done, he said, well, it looks like everything looks fine with his heart. He does have a small hole in his heart, but it's something that probably won't be, if it needs to be addressed, it won't need to be addressed until he's probably in his 50s or 60s. And then he said, he asked if we had genetic testing done, and which we replied no. And he said, well, I think you should, because I'm looking at your son and I'm fairly certain that he has Down syndrome. And he got up and walked out and closed the door. So it was a bit of a shock to us.
Yeah, I would imagine. So then you got the genetic testing done, and
yeah, and it confirmed. Yeah, it confirmed that he does in fact have Down syndrome.
And what about you, Brandon? What was the diagnosis?
My wife was 12 weeks pregnant, and they did all the blood work and everything. So we ended up getting an email one Saturday. It said open immediately. And my wife's like, well, the gender, we were just waiting for the gender.
Yeah.
We get to
So
find
you're
out early. So we're
excited.
excited. And it says I'm open immediately. So my wife opens it and scrolls down and had a high percentage of Down syndrome. So we call the doctor and they're closed. So finally Monday we get to go in, and he kind of went over everything, said, yeah, there's a high probability and there's more testing we can do, but it came with a risk of miscarriage. And we're like, if she has it, she has it. So we just, a lot of follow-ups and doctor visits.
But an email, you found out through an email?
Yeah, through an email.
Yeah. And then, so once you received your child's diagnosis, how did you connect with Desanio, Brandon?
I was on Facebook, you know, just searching different support groups and just trying. I didn't know anybody that had Down syndrome or really anything, so I was just trying to learn more. And I found Desanio's Facebook page, and the parent coordinator at the time reached out and was like, "Hey, you know, we want to give you a welcome gift. There's a dad's night that I want you to come to," and that kind of thing. So, and then it was just got super involved.
But that was before McKenna was born, right?
Yeah, I started before she was even born.
That's good. And what about you, Matt?
My wife had actually done some research once he was diagnosed, and that's when we found Desanio, which at that time was the upside of Downs. And we started getting involved with the programming and just tried to learn as much as we could about Down syndrome, because we literally didn't know anything until that day that we walked out of the cardiologist office. And then over the years, we've got more and more involved with their programming and just the organization in general.
So you guys received lots of support.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
And Brandon, you mentioned the dad's group. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we meet over in Northeast Ohio on the first Wednesday of every month, and the first time I went with my father-in-law, and we kind of walked in not knowing what to expect and sat down, and a bunch of the guys came over and just sat down with us and started talking and telling stories and stuff, and it was just nice to hear the stories. And every time I go, I learn something new. Like Matt's like, "I got this going on with Archie," and the other dads are like, "I got this going on," and I can look at dads that have older kids, and I can like know kind of what to expect, and it's just super nice to be able to talk to other dads and learn and have a small little community to go to.
And know that you're not by yourself on this journey.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And how has your experience been, Matt, with the dad's group?
I had gotten involved with the dad's group. It's been almost 5 years now, and it was October of 2019. I had actually left my job to be a stay-at-home parent. I wanted to get out and do stuff. I've always been a social person, and not having a place of employment to go to every day, I was kind of going stir crazy by being around the children, and there was starting to become a push for this Down syndrome dads group. So I thought, you know what, I finally have the time to attend this, so I'm going to go out to a dad's night, and I did, and it ended up being just a fantastic time. I want to say there was almost 20 dads there. Some with young children like myself, some with teenagers, some with grown adults, and everybody kind of clicked, and everybody was there to help each other. At that point, my son was 3 years old, so we were kind of new to the journey. So I had questions, and I didn't really have a whole lot of peers to ask those questions to. So just that first night was just, to me, it was amazing, because it was this whole new wealth of information that I had access to. And from there, I started attending every single month.
And you guys just hosted a dad's picnic, right?
That's correct.
Over
Yeah.
Father's Day weekend.
Yes.
Tell us about that, Brandon.
It was a good time. We had close to 60 people, and we had some new dads come out, and just there was a splash pad, and the kids were just having fun, and it was nice to actually meet some of the other kids, and some of the wives and things. At dad's night we talk about kids and the wives, and until you kind of put a face to it, it's hard to kind of picture and stuff. But getting to put a name to the face and stuff was fun, and just nice to get to spend some more time together.
The dad's nights sound like so much fun. I think
are.
me and the
Oh,
mom
yeah.
should crash it one night. But there's a new initiative that Desanio is involved with called Pathways for Pops, and Matt, you're the coordinator.
Correct.
How did it get started?
Well, I've been running the Down syndrome dads group for about a year now, and this past December, I had gotten an email. It was right before Christmas. It was from Leslie Burke, who works for Desanio, And she had been alerted that the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities was going to reward a grant to one group in the state of Ohio that is focused on dads that have children with disabilities. She had asked in the email if our group would be interested in applying for this grant, which of course I said yes. And for the next, I want to say 2 weeks, right before Christmas, myself, Brandon, the rest of the guys in the group all had input on basically an itinerary, how we would use this grant money, as well as all the employees at the office at DeSanio. And sure enough, it was beginning of March. I was ironically on my way to a dad's night out, and I got a phone call, and it was from Leslie and Tony from the office, and they said, yeah, you remember that grant that we applied for in December? Well, guess what? We were awarded to it. So it was a great way to start a dad's night.
So what are the goals for Pathways to Pop? I mean, Pathways to Pops. I mean, what do you hope it brings to the fathers?
The initiative of this program is to create unity with dads that have children with a developmental disability, and also get the fathers more involved in their children's lives. Now, it seems like historically the mother has done the lion's share of the work with the children. What we're trying to do is let the dads know that that doesn't have to be the case. It's not supposed to be the case. Right. As fathers, we need to be just as involved with our children, their activities, everything they do, their education, their IEPs, as much as the mothers are. And that's what we're doing, trying to offer programming for the fathers, so they kind of learn how to tackle those things, as well as have an additional support group, because there is not a lot of support out there for dads that have children with disabilities.
And Brandon, why do you think it's important for other fathers to become involved?
Just what I've learned in the short 2.5 years I've been going is just incredible. Like the small things that you're not going to learn unless you're out talking to other dads. And we had a couple new dads come last night that their kids have different disabilities or different abilities, and it was just nice to talk to them, because I'm sure we can learn from them just as much as they can learn from us. And
yeah, a whole different perspective.
You know, what they've been trying with their kids might work for our kids and vice versa. So I'm just looking forward. And then I didn't have a lot of exposure to people with any kind of different abilities, so it's just nice to learn new spectrums and more things that way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Great. And what kind of activities do you have planned for Pathways?
We have a monthly Dad's Night Out. It's going to be held on the third Wednesday of every month, and it's going to be at various locations throughout Northeast Ohio. Just so it kind of gives everybody a chance, regardless of where they're from in Northeast Ohio, for them to attend. But this program is also reaching out for dads across the state. So we are going to have some online workshops. And we are also, in January, we are planning a weekend conference, which it'll start Friday, later in the day Friday. We're all going to be in a hotel. It's going to be in Cuyahoga Falls. And on Saturday, we're going to have programming throughout the day for us dads. Things that kind of pertain to our children with special needs and how we can help them.
And tell us again, who can be involved in Pathways for Pops?
Any fathers that have a child with a developmental disability across the entire state of Ohio.
Okay. And how can someone contact you if they want to learn more about the program?
They can email me at matt@dsaneo.org, or you can check it out on DeSanio's website. And then we also have a Facebook page for Pathways for Pops, which we're posting all our activities on that page as well. And anyone is welcome to join that.
Great, great. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show and letting us know what it's like to be a father with an individual with Down syndrome.
Thank you so much for having us.
We appreciate it. Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming, Archie. And McKenna, is she sleeping?
Oh yeah, she's out. She's out.
We will see you next month on Something Extra.